Happy New Year, everybody. I hope to God that you spent a lot of time with your family over Christmas, over the holidays, New Year's and Christmas. I know we sure did. As a Christmas bonus this year, we let all the guys have off between the 23rd, Christmas Eve, and January 2nd, which is today. We are back, live action, coming at you harder than ever. I want to give a huge shout out to Moores, our member, one of our members on the channel. If you like this type of content and you're really liking this type of content, I'm going to be producing it all year long. But I'm not going to be putting it out there for everybody to see. It's going to be in the members only. For only members, we're going to be doing live streams. I'm going to be talking and working with you guys this year. And also, phone calls have already been happening. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're wanting to know more about this, hit that little join button right next to our company YouTube page name. There's a little join button. And if you haven't hit subscribe down there, that's totally free. You can get all our content. Make sure you're subbed. But if you want another level and you're wanting to talk with me and you're very specific, hit that join button. Also, too, that's a really good point. Will just brought up that, you know, from an editor standpoint, what he's putting out there for everybody to see, that's customers, that's insurance companies, that's bankers, that's our audience, that's everybody. We're going to be transitioning and getting a lot more raw, uncut content that Will's just going to put together, and it's stuff that you guys want to see, but it's going to be behind that members only wall, just to protect the company. I know this is probably a little bit different, but also to protect you guys. So what we're going to be talking about today is, what are you looking at as a business owner, especially in the excavation and utility markets? What do you need to be preparing for in 25? How do you get better? How do you ensure that you don't get worse or maybe stay stagnant of where you're at? And I've honestly been both of those. Didn't know where I was going and been stagnant. And both of those two things are business killers. And looking back on 24, man, we started the year off very, I don't even know the word, guys. It's surviving. The work had dried up. It was the start of 24. There was still some work out there publicly, but we weren't a big enough company bonding capacity wise to chase all public work. So we had to make some decisions there about where to go, how to head, et cetera, and the good Lord shined down once I got my butt in gear and started really diving in past, I'd say, July. We had the tornado come through. We helped out with all of the tornado effort. We took in 2,800 loads of brush into our yard and burned it with the local fire department here to help out all the folks around here locally. We live in a very small town community that services a lot bigger metroplex of 4 or 5 cities here locally. But here in our small local community, they needed some help when that tornado hit. That was a massive impact on the year. It rained so much earlier this year in springtime. We got to account for that too. It was what it was, but you can't plan for that. All you can do is deal with it, right? And plan accordingly within 4 or 5 days that you have ahead of you. The weather's changing every day. I wish I got paid to be wrong every day. That'd be cool. After that, July, man, you guys probably, I'm really hoping that you guys got to see it through the lens of past July. You guys could definitely see the work started changing. The work not necessarily, I can't tell you that the work turned on in 24 in July. SciCon started moving differently to obtain and get into more conversations. I.e., what you guys are watching right now, digital marketing. I'm trying to help you guys. Yes, we have got a pretty predominant YouTube channel now, but we're across all social medias, trying to help on the podcast. And the podcast really started ramping up in July. And so pushing this marketing thing, it was started off as an idea, come out of nowhere. Here we are with 23,600 subs as we're sitting here. So thank you guys so much. The last couple of videos have been doing great. I've been reading your comments. Thank you for all the feedback. So with saying that, we started this marketing effort almost 2 years. You guys are going to see a plethora of changes coming your way from that lens. The website, everything literally is going to change. I had a brand new baby yesterday, 2 days ago. Baby number 3 for me and Sarah. She's doing great. Sarah's doing great. Read your comments as well, so if you send her some love, she will see. Moving forward and past all that, we've kind of, from July of 24, we really started clicking. It took me about 60 days from the events that happened in the middle of July last year. You guys know what happened. If you don't, you can go back and watch. But essentially from there, I got a lot more piled on me in July and in the last 6 months of last year than probably what I was bargaining for. But if I didn't, don't know if we'd be a company, honest to God, the way it was going. And a lot of guys can't sit here and be honest with you, but I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. I've been trying to be super honest, vulnerable, putting this stuff out there on the internet. I mean, my competition watches it. Everybody watches it, you know, why would they not? But moving forward past that, guys, I apologize. Budgeting would be my next thing for 2025. If I'm trying to look at what I did in 2024, how I did it, what worked, what didn't work from a monetary standpoint, from a operational standpoint, an administrative standpoint. Now we're talking about the monetary. Where did we run over? Get that P&L, that profit and loss, get that balance sheet, look at it. Where'd you end up at the end of the year? And if you don't understand how to read one, do some research on how to read one, because those two things should be able to tell you how 24 ran. Those numbers should be able to tell you, oh man, I was expecting to rent $25,000 worth of a skid steer this year. Hell, I spent $80,000 on skid steer rental this year. We didn't, but I'm just saying as an example, that obviously you spent $80,000 out of pocket to pay for a rental of a skid steer. You'd probably end up buying a skid steer. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that. Hey, our small tools and equipment was $50,000 or $75,000. Why are we at $120,000? What did we buy? Why didn't we budget for it? What are we budgeting for next year on the operational standpoint? Is there new things that we're trying to interject? Plan Swift or something up there on the front of the house, or Builder's Trend add-on or something in the software? Or is it the field guys? They're wanting to add something. We're talking about putting computers out there, so we're gonna have to increase that office budget just a little bit. But the budget, you can live and die by this budget, but if you're trying to grow, the budget is a guideline. So you can sit down with that budget and you can sit down with your Q1 costs and go, where are we at? Oh my God, why are we trending so far in this category? It's sending you as the business owner alarms, or the project manager, operations manager, superintendent maybe looking at this information and going, man, why are we so far out of cost on this specific item on my job? Say it's gravel. Man, budgeting from all the way down into, I'm trying to give you a better example working directly in the field and how we get everybody thinking about budgeting. Hey man, I've got 20 loads of rock. I've been here 2 weeks and this job's supposed to go 6 and I've used 28 loads of rock already. What happened? Was it the estimator did miss it? Did we dig with a bigger bucket? Was it something in the field? Did the admin not punch a right number in when they were switching the stuff over and putting it in there for the guys? What happened? So yes, I understand budgeting is more for the ownership leadership team, but you can still, if you haven't introduced any numbers, this would be a great way for you to start teaching your team and your guys about how we need to be looking for these numbers. And here's documentation to prove that we're trending out of sorts and we need to deal with a problem. Not just because you thought of it, because Cy Kirby can create problems that are not ever a problem within his business. I've done that. Made mistakes doing that. Sometimes I've seen some stuff that I didn't really agree with, that I wanted to go a different direction and just head in a different direction, and it works. But I promise you, everything's a lot smoother when you get everybody together and go, hey guys, where are we at? What do you think for this and for this? And get their input from the field. Take it back to the admin. All right, girls, where are we at with this, this, and this? And build a company entire budget off the entire team, not just what I think it needs to be. That's the biggest difference. Budgeting, kind of got an understanding, general overview of what we think the year is going to be. Well, what's that budget off of? Is that budget off of this year's revenue? Is that budget off of projected revenue? Is that off of where you want to be? Where's that budget land? Are you working with 5 million? You're working with 1 million? You're working with 20 million? What are you working with? You know, from if I were to work off the revenue that we just accrued in 24, it was actually a downturn because I wasn't paying attention and doing the stuff that I'm sitting here discussing with you in the first 6 months of last year, and my focus was all over the place and working on things that I thought maybe were a problem that weren't as much of a problem, and I wasn't in tune with the morale of my guys and figuring out exactly what they needed. So I've definitely adjusted some there, but when you've got a team and you've got a $5 million goal set or you got a $20 million goal set, how much have you been converting on the estimation side of things? How much have you been converting? Are you converting 10%? Are you converting 50%? Are you converting 30%? That right there will tell you if you're too high, too low. If you want to make more profit next year, bid more with larger numbers in it. That's how profit's made. And guess what? Talking about bidding, bid more equals win more. It's that simple. That simple. If you bid a whole bunch more worth of work, you're gonna be in more conversations. And 1 out of 25 is gonna work out. 1 out of 50. I mean, we've gone from bidding what we needed to capture in the year to bidding 7 times what we needed to capture in a year. And that's a mistake that I learned, is that these lulls come too frequently. I need more work than I ever could have imagined. Yes. Does that stress me out? Absolutely it does. But sitting here 12 months ago, when I was sitting here with about this amount of work, that's a totally different scenario compared to this year. Last year, I couldn't focus on any of this because our revenue was dipping, our sales was dipping, our estimating was dipping. That was my number one concentration. Sales is everything. And my next point is, about bidding more equals win more, is that if you're the owner, are you the salesman or are you not? You need to find that out, because if you're the salesman, you need time to sell. If you're working with 5 or 6 guys and you're a one-man show and you don't have all the people and the team and the staff yet. Well, if you're not the salesman, go hire a salesman. Put them on commission. Don't even have to put them on hourly. Write them a check once a month, whatever you got to do. But get working with somebody that can help you produce and put out numbers every single month, whether you win anything or not. But you've got to stay in that conversation. You can't go, because what a lot of times happens with you smaller guys, just like I was, it is, okay, got to get in here. I got to bid a bunch of work, got to bid a bunch of work, got to bid a bunch of work. You bid a bunch of work. Oh my God, I got all this work. I don't know how to get it done because I haven't spent any time delegating processes and procedures for my team to go get this work done. So now what is salesman that was just in here doing this? So what is salesman in here rushing to get bids out the door? You think he's taking his time, making sure he's got everything on that? No, I wasn't. I know it wasn't, because I didn't have the time. Because then I had to run out there and deal with the day-to-day problems of getting the actual work after I feel like I got the hardest part of it done and got it contracted in the door. The easiest part is doing the dang thing. Just go out and do it. Well, there's struggles. If you're not leading by an example of, hey guys, when you run into this problem, do this. When you run into this, run into that. Yes, you've got to tell them these things. So as you bid more, you're gonna win more, you're gonna grow. And if you don't have some of these problems within your team, the back and forth of, oh, I need to sell work, oh, I need to go do work, find what you're best at. Where do you make the company the most money? Are you out there with the guys focusing on that? Hire a sales team or just a person. And then, hey, also too, sprinkle a little bit of marketing in there, just a little bit. Sales is a lot easier when you market. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to send $1 million proposal to somebody, attach a couple YouTube videos and go, hey, these are our guys. This is who's going to be working on your job. Here's the job. We came in under budget and we came in under time. We already can do the job. I don't have to sit there and convince them. I don't have to spend hours on the phone with them. Just watch the video. And I'm not even trying to convince them go with me, but I can tell you right now, digital marketing has helped this company crest over other companies and get contracts. No doubt about it, 100%, it is a thing. It is 100% a thing. 82% of global web traffic right now is video consumption. If that's not alarming to you with what you're doing every day as a business owner, it takes your phone's in your hand 92% of the day anyways. Just hit record, get a couple clips, throw them together, and start a small social channel, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, I don't care what it is, but start a small form so that way you've got, because you're gonna forget about the jobs you do as a business owner. You just are, but you've gotta be able to market a little bit. That's gonna drive sales. That's gonna help you to bid more, equal, win more. So here's a little bit of topic. I'm really focusing on that this year. Not having to focus as much this year because that is really trending well. I'm sitting here on the second day of January in 2025, mind blown about the opportunities that we're sitting here talking about. The amount of work that we have got contracted on the dirt, contracted on the pipe side is fantastic, but the amount of work that we're fixing to find out about in the next 2 to 3 weeks is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. So I'm not just sitting here preaching at you. I'm living it with you. I screwed it up for years. I've been doing little steps and little steps and little steps to make sure I make it through the next year. This year, here we are. I'm in year 9, really focusing, knowing what I need to do, holding myself accountable to set my team up for success. Now that we've got our budget, we're bidding more, we're starting to land a few contracts, right? And now and this may be, I'm hoping to God that you're sitting in the same chair as me and you're sitting in January and you've got some work. But what about the guys that are sitting there going, Si, I don't have any work right now. What am I gonna do, man? Bid more. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Bid more. You're gonna win more, get more conversations. But now I'm gonna talk to the guys that are landing contracts, whether it be February, whether it be March, April, whatever. You're having to set up your year, and you're probably looking at these contracts going, man, I don't have the equipment. What am I gonna do? I don't have the people. Oh, what am I gonna do? Well, that's all fine. Get to work. You can go buy equipment. If you've got the work, you've got the contracts, those banks and those financial companies like seeing those. They know that income's coming in. That's really what they want to know. If you've got a good $3-4 million backlog and you hand it to the bank and go, hey, I need this $1 million worth of gear to produce this $6-8 million worth of work, they're probably going to help you. If not, shameless plug for Richie Bros. I've worked with James Lipset on some equipment financing outside. Done a podcast episode with him. If you guys haven't seen it, bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com, or go hop over to our YouTube page, Blue Collar Business Podcast, and you'll see that episode. But he's got some very unique financing tips for you guys. But you're sitting there going, what equipment do I buy? Do I need to run out and buy this? Do I need to run out and buy this? If we land this, I need that, I need this. Wait till you have a contract in your hands. That's what I would tell you, number one. Wait till you have that contract. Once you have that contract, no matter what, if you bid it right, you should have rental rates in there. Rent a machine for 30 days. You'll figure it out. If you've got enough work, 6, 9, 10 months for that machine that you're fixing to buy, then by God, go rent it for the first month. And then after that, turn around and buy the thing. Write the rental off, whatever you want to do. But I would tell you guys, I personally get so caught up in what do I need to buy? What do I need to procure for the guys to do their jobs? What do I need to do here? What do I need to do there? If we get to here, do I need this? Yeah, you do need all that, but it'll all come in time. Get the contracts first. Sales is everything, because once you have that in hand, going to the bank's a lot easier conversation. Dealing with financial companies is a lot easier situation, but sitting there with no work, trying to convince them that you need $600,000-800,000 worth of equipment to ensure that a deal goes through, it's not something that they want to do. So I would tell you, excavation owners, I know we get caught up in our trucks. I know we get caught up in our equipment. I know for a fact we get caught up in maintenance and wanting to do this and do that to the truck because this will help them. But in the grand scheme of things, ask your guys. I just got a handwritten goals for 2025, but my leadership, moving into the next point here, where's your direction? Yes, we've budgeted. Yes, we're bidding more. But what direction do you want this company to go in? The whole team is sitting there looking at you going, where are we going, Dad? What are we doing, buddy? If you don't have some plans and goals and directions for yourself, get them out, start writing. It's number one thing. But then turn around, go to your leadership team and go, hey, I want the same exact thing that I did, but I want it out of you guys. And just read the responses. It will tell you everything you need to know about your company. Some of it you'll like, some of it you won't like. But guess what? If you're wanting to get better, and you know, you got to have their answers. And there's a couple of answers or questions I put on the goals for 25 of, hey, what piece of equipment do you think is going to be the best? If you had $5,000 or $10,000 and you could go buy us any piece of equipment, hand tool, what would it be? Some of those questions, and you'll be so surprised at the answers that you get. So reach out to them. So that's what I've done this year. I can tell you I've never done that before, but I promise you I'll never go another year without doing it, because the stuff that I learned within the 7 or 8 emails from my team that deals with my company directly every single day, I want to know their answers. So that helps me literally plan for revenue, plan for profit, plan for goals, plan. And guess what? It's all going to go to awry. It's all going to go to crap. And you're sitting there going, Si, there's no use in planning in the underground world. It all just goes to crap anyways. You're right. But if you don't have any direction for when that plan does change to equal at the same goal, you are going to have to deal with that problem. You are going to deal with that problem. Whether you run out there and fix it, whether you sit on the phone for 10 hours and fix it, whatever the case may be. But I would really highly suggest you get with your team, find out what their goals are personally and professionally. That also answers the question of, where do you want to end up? Do you want to be sitting in the same chair doing the same thing January 1 of next year? That was my entire goal of 24, is that I didn't want to sit here and feel the same way I did last year. Well, how do you do that? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. And the change starts from the top down. It's not your guy's fault. It's not the material house's fault. It's not the gravel guy's fault. It's not this. It's not that. It's your fault. Get over it. Eat it up. Deal with it. Find out the problems. Get all the way to the root of the problem. Don't just band-aid the crap. And yeah, sometimes fixing those problems, you might lose 1 or 2 guys. Part of it. If you want to get better and you want to deal with the feelings of those 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 guys, rather than proof in profit or proof in revenue, that's totally on you. I highly suggest against it. I've done it personally through this year a little bit, actually. Settled, was dealing, I thought the field was handling itself. It really wasn't. I was being told that the field was handling itself, but it really wasn't, and I needed to be checking back up. Even though I'm up here at the top, I needed to be checking in with the guys at the very bottom, because they're going to tell me exactly the health and the morale of the business. It's the number one thing you've got to focus on is culture. This is probably my last point that I would just give to you guys. The number one thing that will help you retain employees, keep them happy, is culture. You have got to instill culture within your business. You can instill bad culture and you can instill good culture. I can honestly say, sitting here, the first 6 months of 2024 wasn't great culture. It was on the tail end of some bad culture. It's driven from a point of view of good culture, but it can also be taken awry from there, right? So what I'm trying to get at is the morale of your team will directly affect the money in your bank account. Straight up. If your team's doing good, they're healthy. When I mean healthy, I mean got a smile on when they start the job for the day. And you ask them, if they don't, you ask them, hey man, you okay? What's going on? Care about their family. Care about their vacation. Care about their goals. Because if you care about their goals, they will care about your goals. That's how this works. The guys that may be sitting there going, well, I already pay them. They need to do everything I say. Well, keep fighting the problems you're fighting, buddy. And I'm going to stay over in my lane, but I know for a fact culture is very, and I mean very expensive. When I say I'm family first, I mean I'm family first. They were off from this. My entire company was off from December 23rd to January 2nd. That's 2 weeks of revenue. Yes, Christmas was in there. Yes, New Year's was in there. And the cities, they don't want to give us tests. They don't want to do this. They don't want to show up. They don't want to schedule nothing. It's a really hard time of year. So with that being said, being culture first mindset, me and Sarah looked at him and said, hey, you guys want off for 2 weeks, paid, sit at home, or you guys want Christmas bonuses, and we try and work through those 2 weeks. With us having a baby and the timing, it was hopefully going to work out for us all to take off, and we did. And the smiling faces that walked through the door this morning were the reason I did it. They all got a good refresh at home. They've sat there for more than a day, talked with their kids, got to do Christmas, got to do New Year's, and now we're back on January 2nd of 2025, ready to kick ass and take names. And I am here for it, boys. I am here for it. I know this is a little bit longer talky video, but I'm hopefully going to help a few excavation business and utility owners out there, and hopefully just some business owners in general. These were pretty vague points other than what equipment to buy, but it can be worked along any skilled trade business right now, in my opinion. Not doing everything right, but I hope to God in 2025 I learn how to do a few more things. That's all I can ask for. And I hope I don't do the same thing I did in 24 for my people and for me and my family. So I'm going to be working on it. You guys get to watch me all year through that lens. And really excited. Man, there's some, oh my God. The amount of stuff that's coming for you guys is insane. I'm talking about going to Matt's this year, Utility Expo, talking about some different traveling stuff. And March of next year, we'll be in Vegas. Yeah, a year and 3 months away. We will be at Con Expo. I'm really looking forward to that and taking some of the team, getting registered for that. We get registered for the Dirt World Summit. We're going to be going to that. So lots of stuff coming past just the earthwork and the utility stuff. And we're going to be diving in quite a bit deeper content-wise within the ditches, what's going on, etc. Oh, Willie here, he's fixing to have a little change up in operations and have some additional help, let's put it that way, as to getting more content out to you guys that's up to the same quality as you guys have been loving faster. That's what we're trying to do this year, trying to give you more than just 4 videos a month. We're going to try and sit in that 6 to 8 realm. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of work here. Hopefully you guys are smashing that like button, hitting that subscribe button so you can hang out, check our story out, and then you can judge me here in a year when I'm sitting here doing the exact same video and going, wow, ha, 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 you didn't do this or that. I'm up for those people too. So till next time, I'm praying for your 2025. Pray for mine, pray for my team. Be safe, be kind, and be humble. We'll catch you guys next time.